Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Today we'll be discussing how to advertise on YouTube, specifically on how to set up a YouTube campaign and how to avoid those little traffic traps that Google likes to put in place to thieve your money. Well, not a thief, but make your campaigns just a little bit less effective.
All right, so we're going to be covering a step-by-step how to do this, so please follow along. If you can have a Google Ads account open, maybe another window browser, that would be really cool. And you can just follow along on how to create a good YouTube campaign. We're going to go through all the settings, all the bits and pieces, so make sure you hang around to the end. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over into the actual back of Google Ads, I guess you would say. And in the back of Google Ads, you can create lots of different campaigns. It's not just YouTube, you can also create search and display and shopping and heaps of other types of campaigns. But for the purposes of this video, we are just going to be covering how to create YouTube campaigns, different settings, the types of ads, all of those sorts of things. So let's have a look. Let's go straight into creating a new campaign. So you would just literally click on the create new campaign button, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of different options. Now you can create YouTube campaigns from leads and sales and website traffic and things. But realistically, the way we teach our students or people that work with us in terms of how to create good YouTube campaigns is literally to just go create without any guidance. So from there, Marcus, where do we go from here?
Yeah, so there basically what we do, guys, is we want to head to video. So here, video, obviously we're doing YouTube's video. Click on video. Now, basically there are a number of, a couple of ways you can do this. If your account already has a bit of data run through it, so your account's fairly seasoned, and you just want to just drive conversions, what you can do is pick drive conversions. However, if you're just starting out or your account isn't really well seasoned, what we recommend doing is coming up here and doing custom video campaigns.
Now, before we do that, there are a few other options in here. So non-skippable in-stream is the next option down. That would be more for, like those 15-second videos that you get that you can't skip. So usually like big brands like Woolworths or credit card companies or those sorts of companies that just want to get their brand awareness out, they kind of use those. Outstream is kind of more for reaching people who are on mobile devices, that sort of thing. But in most cases, shopping ads are obviously for more e-commerce, and then an ad sequence is if you had this ad, then this one, then this one. But I mean, for what we're looking at in most times, if you just want to do what's called pre-roll ads, so they're the ads that rock up. They have like 5 seconds to skip. They're probably your most effective ad on YouTube at the moment. You would probably either do drive conversions or custom video campaign, those two options there. And in this case, we'll do custom video campaign and we'll go from there. But so when you're just getting started out, they're the things you need to have a look at and so on.
Yeah. And what we'll do in the description below, guys, look, we'll post up a link to a video where we go over each individual ad type. And go more in depth into them, the pros and cons of each type of ad, and so that'll be in the description below. So what we're gonna do, guys, firstly is come to custom video campaign. So once the new page loads, we come to here. Now there's a number of sections that I want to point out to you guys before we roll on with this. So the first one is there are a number of campaign levels with this, right? So at the top here, you have your campaign level, okay? And as you scroll down, you get to your ad group level, and then you come down to your ad level. All right, so we're gonna go into each of these levels very nice, easily, slowly, so you can follow along and create the campaigns that you want to create at the same time.
Now, the best way to really understand the so the campaign level is what do you want to have happen? So what do you want to have happen in your campaign? And then at the ad group level, it's who do you want to go out to? How do you want to do it? And then the ad level is, how are you going to go out to them? So that's a nice, easy way to remember the 3 different levels.
Yeah. So basically in here, campaign name, all right, obviously what the name of your campaign is. So if you're going out to, if it's a fitness campaign of some sort, you can just type in test campaign or whatever it may be. Yeah, exactly. All right. Now bid strategy, okay? This is really, really important. All right. So what options you have here is target CPM and maximum CPV. Now what these mean is maximum CPV is your maximum cost per view. So CPV stands for cost per view. Now in YouTube, right, what a view is basically anyone that has watched either your entire video, watched at least 30 seconds of your video or clicked on your ad. Okay, so basically you only pay when someone interacts with your ad
or watches 30 seconds or more.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
so you compare that to like, you know, Facebook and other app platforms. You get maybe 3 to 15 seconds. You literally get double the amount minimum before you're even charged. So this makes it a perfect platform for video ads.
Mint. It's absolute mint. So now target CPM. CPM stands for cost per
1,000 impressions.
Millennial, what the hell it means. But it basically means a cost per 1,000 impressions. And that's how Facebook charges you. We don't want to go down that road. We want to get charged by when people interact with our ad or watch our 30 seconds or more of our ad. Okay?
Yeah, well, let me ask you guys, what would you prefer? Would you prefer when someone watched 30 seconds of your ads, you only get charged after they watch 30 seconds, or would you rather get charged every time someone sees your ad and skips? Okay, so it's a total no-brainer. In most cases, you're always going to click, in this type of campaign, a maximum CPV.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So maximum CPV, that is going to be our...
Now, if you did pick drive conversions, there's a couple of other options here. If you did pick drive conversions or something similar to that, you can set up what's called viewable CPM or target CPA or maximize conversions. Okay, now each one of those has their own type of like billing system for you. Normally, like target CPA is when you're scaling. So unless you're doing like some big scaling, you probably don't want to start there. And again, viewable CPM, similar to what we were saying before about impressions. And maximize conversions means it'll just maximize for the amount of conversions, and then what it costs you will go from there.
Yeah.
So, but for right now, we just want to do maximum cost per view.
Yeah. So then we come down to our budgets and dates. So campaign total. So if you want to spend $100 on this particular campaign, you can spend $100.
Or if you want to spend $20.
Or $20, or whatever it may be. Or what you can do is do it daily. So if you want to spend $20 a day on a campaign, then you can spend $20 a day.
Or $2 or $5 or $200 or $2,000,
whatever it may be. It's it.
Start a bit smaller. Don't go like 200, 2,000 straight away. But anything under $100 will be perfectly fine.
Good. And obviously you can modify your start and end dates. All right. Now here is a biggie. Okay, so this is really, really important. This is another traffic trap that Google likes to place in our way. So we only want to advertise on YouTube. We don't want to advertise on Display Network because that's not YouTube. That's Display Network. Okay. Now you can see Google has it automatically ticked. Right.
Unclick that sucker.
And they'll say, oh, make sure you click this to get more reach and blah 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 blah. No, I don't want to advertise on that. Okay. Now we're not actually running discovery ads. All right. So we don't really want to advertise in the YouTube search results. All right, we can talk about that a bit later on. But right now, just for this particular video, we only want to advertise on YouTube videos. All right.
So perfect. So moving on. Now we want to have a look at our locations and what's involved in setting up locations. So, this is actually a big one. You can do whole countries if you want, or whole territories. Or if you wanted to maybe enter other locations, you have a couple of different options. So let's just delete all the ones in here. And let's do like a bit of an advanced one. So we could type in a whole country, like let's maybe type in the United States. I'll give you the typing. You can be the typer.
United States.
All right, cool. So the whole country, we could target that. Now let's just say that we wanted to break it down and maybe just target like Texas, for example.
Everything's big in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas. So now what we could do is remove move the United States out, and we can I did it the other way. So type in Texas again. You got me. All right. So Texas. So that's a state, but we can also go like different sort of suburbs as well. So we could pick out maybe Dallas. So let's do Dallas, and let's just say that we want to target Dallas, and we might take out the whole of Texas as a state, and we might do just that particular state. The other thing we can do is a radius. Okay, so this thing we could type in Dallas again. Just type in Dallas again. So let's do Dallas, Texas, USA, and then what we can do is we can have a radius around this. So we might want to remove, the city limits, and say we want to get out to, Arlington or maybe just capture in half of Fort Worth or something like that. So we might change this to, well, why don't we change it to like 40 miles or something? That should give us Fort Worth
Pretty
as
big
well.
area.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we're going to do it
Oh,
again.
yeah.
So type in Texas, Dallas, sorry. Yep. And then we can see we get, those two, that sort of circumference. So really depending on what you want to do. Now you could even go like 1 mile or 2 miles. Or like if you were a really small local business around your city, that's how you would do location targeting inside of Google, YouTube ads. Okay.
You can get really granular with the location options.
Very cool. So then we have languages, and then we have content exclusions. So we're just going to go through each section. I would probably just go with the standard inventory.
Yeah, standard's pretty good.
Doesn't really make too much difference. And then if you want to exclude stuff, okay, so if you've got like something really sensitive, you might not want to go to mature audiences, however it wants to go, you would probably want to exclude YouTube videos embedded. So what that means is they're all like the YouTube videos you see on other people's websites and those sorts of things, or they're not actually on YouTube itself, okay? And live streaming if you wanted to, depending on what your niche is and how that works. So there's a few little tips there. So that would finish the campaign level, okay? So the campaign level is what you would call what do we want to have happen? So let's just summarize that real quick. We can see we wanted to do maximum cost per view. We want to spend $20. We want to enter a location. So in this case, we entered 40 miles around Dallas. And then, of course, we had standard inventory and we told it where we didn't want it to go. So that's what we want to have happen. The next thing we want to have a look at is really the campaign level and, the ad group level. And this is really like who we want to go out to. Okay, so we might want to call this one test or something like that. Test audience. And then we can go through and do this. Over to you.
All right. So basically, guys, inside the ad group, this is where we put our targeting options. So you can, if you want to go to a specific demographic on YouTube, or if you want to exclude certain demographics, so maybe you don't want to go to 18, 24-year-olds, or you want to go just to 35 to 64-year-olds.
Unknown.
And unknown, take them off. Okay. And you only want to go to males. Okay. And then maybe you don't want parents. All right. And you don't want to go to, you only want to go to the upper, with household incomes, you want the upper 50%. Okay. You can really, target, who you don't want or who you do want in your demographics. All right. And then what you can do is if you already have audiences inside of your Google account, this is where you'll find them in here. All right. However, unless it's like a remarketing audience, all right, I would probably stay clear of going out to just cold audiences inside YouTube, unless it's a remarketing audience. Now, where we want to go though, and this is kind of where we want to live, right? So in the two biggest places, there is topics, yes, but where we really want to live is specifically in placements or in keywords.
Now there's there's a lot of different types of placements on where you can do this. We're going to do another video just on placements coming up soon. If we've done it, it'll be in the chat. If not, hang out, it'll come out. And we'll explain each one of these in so much detail. It really needs its own video. Now we did another video on how to create placement campaigns. Okay, so if you want to know how to create placements, it's literally put your ad on anyone's video or channel. That's what placements mean. We'll show you how to do that. And we're just going to cover the main ones here, like keywords, topics, and then again, we'll create another video just around targeting options.
Yeah. So that placement videos, guys, will be in the description underneath this video here.
And that's where we recommend you start. So if you're looking at this and you're like, oh, where do I start? What's the best way to get the biggest return when I'm just getting started? Placements are going to be your friend. Okay, so check out that video.
Yeah. So this is where we got is keywords. So if you have specific keywords you want to advertise on, so you want to advertise on, how to lose belly fat. Okay. Or maybe want to advertise on how to make money online, right? Or, how to make kids sleep all night, right? So this is kind of where you want to add in your different keywords, all right? And then what you can do, you can also on the right hand side there, you can put in what your website is, and then YouTube Google will give you some ideas of some keywords that you can advertise on.
Okay, really cool.
So that's keywords. Obviously, topics is pretty self-explanatory. You can come through. You can just get absolutely granular with some of these topics. You just go through, have a play, have a look, and you can just choose whatever topics you want to. You can get really, really, really granular with some of these things. So just go through and just click on what topic. So basically, any video that is connected with any of these niches that I'm clicking on, we'll be able to show our ads on.
Now there are a couple of other options. If we do go back up into into the audience sections, there's different things like in market and affinity audiences and all sorts of stuff in here, including custom audiences and things that you can create in your audience manager. But again, that does get quite big, right? So again, when you're first getting started, guys, I would seriously just stick to placement and maybe keywords. And then as you grow, you can pick out affinities and in markets and topics and all of these other things around placements. So to recap, just get started with placement and keywords and then work your way out from there.
Yeah. Then obviously we have our bidding. Now, a lot of people get really confused with the auction house that is Google. So essentially what happens is, just say for example, I am willing to pay $5 for, that's per click. So just say I'm willing to spend 50 cents, right, for a view, for someone to click on my ad, or for someone to watch my whole ad, or to watch at least 30 seconds of it. I'm going to pay 50 cents. Now, it may not be that expensive. A lot of times, on average, I think it's like 5 cents. But what happens is I may not always pay 50 cents for someone to view, right? Because it's an auction. I only pay a little bit higher than the previous bidder below me. So just say I'm willing to spend 50 cents, but the next best, the next highest bidder is 30 cents. So
maybe I bid 30 cents.
Yeah, so just say Ben bids a maximum of 30 cents, right? He's the highest, and then I come along and I'm going to bid 50 cents. Now I'm the highest. Now he gets to his maximum bid of 30 cents. I don't go to 50 cents straight away, right? I go to like 35 cents, right? So you're not necessarily going to pay 50 cents, but what that means is if you're willing to pay 50 cents, your ads are going to show more often than everyone else behind you.
Cool.
Right, so that's kind of how the bidding works inside Google.
All right, and then that's pretty much it in terms of creating the campaign. From here, we need to create our YouTube ad, and you will literally just paste in your YouTube URL here. So you'll create, if you were to create a YouTube ad, it's just going to be a video that you put onto YouTube. Make it as unlisted, okay? So no one can see it in search results and that sort of things. Then you would paste it here and you would fill that out, okay? But in terms of creating your campaign, what would have just happened? You would have created a campaign with all those bits at the top. We can see here our ad group would be demographics of 35 to 60, a male and a non-parent and whatever else we picked. You'll be able to, come in and see like what audiences that you went out to. You can see we've got topics such as shopping, real estate, home garden, keywords like how to lose belly fat, make money online, make kids sleep at night, and any placement.
It's a crazy campaign.
That's a crazy campaign. You would never create that campaign, but we just want to show you like you'd probably select one of these things at a time. Okay, like one keyword or maybe two keywords that were similar or three or whatever. One topic or one type of placement topic. So you might pick like a few YouTube channels or a few YouTube videos, okay? Each one of these would be like separate ad groups, all right? And then of course, how much you want to pay? 50 cents. Marcus said it before. Usually it's about 5 cents on average. So, you might come in at 10 or 7 or something like that. If your ads aren't feeding out, the first thing you want to have a look at is how maybe increasing my CPV until it starts feeding out, right? Okay, cool. And then after the end, once we put our video in, we would create the campaign and then it would appear. I might just put a video URL in here. Okay, so I'm just going to put like a Gary Vee video in here for now, just a content video. You would have like a proper YouTube video that you would like unlisted ad you would put in here. So let's create campaign. Now we want to do skippable in-stream, of course. You want to put your final URL in here of whatever it is, www. I don't think it.
I don't know why we do that, eh?
Yeah, just put my awesome website or something.
My awesome.
Okay. Display URL is that. Okay, so cool. We'll get into another video on how to create an ad, but that's pretty much it. You would pick out your call to action. You would type in what it was, book now, for example, and you would give it a headline, my awesome thing. Okay. Live training. Okay. And that would be how you could create a quick YouTube ad, right? So obviously, I haven't done that much justice, but the point is we want you to understand how to create the campaign. That's really the key here. So create campaign, and then what will happen is you'll see it inside of your ad group. Test audience. If we want to come back to campaigns, we'll come back up here, all campaigns, and you'll see this one with lots of other test campaigns. This is our test account. Of all the different ones that we've created. So again, guys, if you've got any questions or anything that you have around how to create campaigns, or you got a specific way of doing YouTube campaigns, let us know. If you'd like any questions about how we can help you, if you had like a specific question around, okay, well, I'm interested in this type of thing or that type of thing within there, let us know in the comments. We'll create a separate video on it. Other than that, we look forward to seeing you in the next video. I have heaps of cool content for you, and we will catch you there.
Yep, and if you guys like this video, if you like the content we're putting out, please like this video, share this video, comment this video, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. All right, we'll see you in the next video.